got some arrests. We have some arrests. Oh boy, here we go. Breaking new arrest made over alleged Epstein ties. Let's check this out here.
Breaking news, British police have arrested former UK ambassador to the US, Peter Mandelson, in a misconduct probe stemming from his ties to Jeffrey Epstein. Police are investigating Mandelson over documents suggesting he passed sensitive government information to Jeffrey Epstein a decade and a half ago. He does not face any allegations of sexual misconduct at this
So it's
point
none of that.
we know of, just those other charges of misconduct in office. Senior correspondent Benjamin Hall. Ben.
Yeah, hi Harrison. Look, this has been moving very quickly in the UK over the last few days. You remember Prince Andrew?
Well, from what we know, seems like he was tied into everything. You know what I'm saying? So there was, like the trafficking and and there were other things going on with governments, and stuff he was involved in. So this, kind of makes sense.
Andrew was arrested on Thursday also for potentially releasing sensitive documents to Jeffrey Epstein. And now Peter Mandelson, who was the
he's got two
UK
different color
ambassador
eyes.
to the US, one of the sort of
Forgot what that's
heavyweights of
called.
British politics under Tony Blair, has also now been arrested. And it's fascinating to see how far this chain will go. And there are many people already looking at Keir Starmer and seeing what relationship he may have had with Peter Mandelson, whether Peter Mandelson lied to him about his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. But it has been fascinating to see this and to watch the videos and the pictures come out of the relationship between Peter Mandelson and Jeffrey Epstein. And it turns out that the relationship there was incredibly close, and that it was Peter Mandelson himself who suggested that Prince Andrew should become the trade envoy, and it was from that role that Prince Andrew
Incredibly
started
close,
potentially
huh?
leaking documents back to Jeffrey Epstein.
Interesting.
So, look, the arrest today means he has not yet technically been charged, but he will now be taken to prison the same way Prince Andrew was. His DNA will be taken, a photograph will be taken, and then this will move on to the next step. But
Gotta say, I find it very interesting that none of the mainstream news is really covering all the nitty gritty of what everybody's been digging up on Twitter and the database. You know what I'm saying?
certainly, the British political system is really feeling this, and all eyes are perhaps on where this might lead and who else might be connected to Jeffrey Epstein next.
Well, you set that up. Like, we can't let you go now, Ben. When you say that the British political system is taking a hit, what does that mean for the Crown?
Well, there's first the government and there's the Crown. I mean, just earlier today, Parliament was talking about removing Prince Andrew from the order of succession. The order of succession is perhaps the bedrock of the Crown. It's the bedrock of royalty here. And so a decision to do that really affects the Crown and the future potentially of the Crown. Now look, it's a long way to go. The King himself, King Charles, Prince William are really distancing themselves from Prince Andrew. But there are big cracks appearing. And already you look at the papers and the media over here, and there are big conversations about the position of the Crown at the moment. When you come to politics, the big question is on Keir Starmer himself. It was apparent that he knew about the relationship between Peter Mandelson and Jeffrey Epstein when he made Peter Mandelson ambassador to the US. And he effectively sort of glanced over the depth of that relationship. So, look, there are local elections coming up here in May. Many people feel that if that doesn't go well for Keir Starmer, that he may also resign. And so you have both Downing Street and the royal family both really suffering at the moment.
Benjamin Hall, thank you very much for getting us started on this topic.
I know a ton of people don't care with everything that's going on right now.
Cheryl, I'm reading more about what you were saying. Police earlier this month began a criminal investigation into Mandelson after Prime Minister Keir Starmer's government passed on communications between the former ambassador and Jeffrey Epstein.
I've never seen them on their phones before while doing the newscast.
Back to the 2008-2009 financial crisis and what the accusations
I've seen
are
them kind of looking at iPads before or something like that, like a tablet.
The document release from January 30th of the Epstein files
maybe I just
from the
never noticed
DOJ.
it.
Basically, there are indications that Mandelson leaked market-sensitive information
Keeps on the same
to
clip.
Epstein. under his appointment
News is
that
always
he was
doing
given
it.
at the time. So how Keir Starmer
Let's show him
was
walking
not
to his
aware of
car.
that is a big question that's been kind of swirling around Keir Starmer. Morgan McSweeney, who was Starmer's chief of staff, he resigned, I think it was the 8th of this month, earlier last week. So and now there's all these people gunning to be the next chief of staff for Starmer. But this is the political conundrum that Starmer finds himself in. But all this goes back to, and this is also, I think, what's enveloping Prince Andrew, is the market-sensitive data. When you're in a trade position, you are getting access to government data nobody else has. You can make money off of that.
Oh, interesting.
In the market. So kind of connecting the dots with Epstein there.
Griff, Jeffrey Epstein is the bane of so many people's existence at this point.
Yeah.
All right, here's the thing. He ain't even at the top. He worked for folks. You know what I'm saying? So, we're probably only at the tip of the iceberg with this.
Well, it would appear that this is classic blackmail in so many forms. But I think what Cheryl's pointing out, which is so different than what we've kind of been reading about with people that may have, participated in sexual misconduct, this is sensitive documents, right? This is next level sort of crimes. And I think when Ben Hall was doing such a good job setting it up, you really see two things happening. One, this case, and who knows how far it goes, but it's clearly active and moving fast, could be a threat to Starmer, his prime ministership and his government. But also, I was listening to Piers Morgan on our channel saying that he's never seen a greater threat to the monarchy itself.
I saw that too.
So we'll see.
I saw something in my feed about Pierce. Something's going on with him. I need to take a look at that.
Where it goes.
Emily.
And Cheryl, can I just confirm with you? So obviously, former ambassador, that was last year. But during that time, he was serving as president of the Board of Trade from 2008 to 2010, and as well European Commissioner for Trade till 2008, Lord President of the Council from 2009 to 2010. So these allegations are squarely when he was performing those duties and thus had that access of particular influence. Is there anything that I'm missing in terms of his professional duties at that time?
Well, no, but when he left, I mean, remember, the Epstein story started to play out through after 2010 until obviously he died in jail.
Right.
So, but the fact that Keir Starmer,
So they say
that he was not aware of Mandelson's activities kind of rings hollow for people in the UK right now.
Oh man, did y'all see them Ghislaine Maxwell posts? They're like, yo, she is alive and well and outside of jail. She ain't in jail. She's outside of jail. Man, the comparison they made, that was like spot on. That's like, I think that's her. Yeah, I think that's her. That other thing with the person being questioned and earlier pictures of her, yeah, that looks like a different person.
Yeah, just a quick point. These Epstein files, I think we're starting to figure out, even more clearly why they've been hidden from us for so long. Because as you mentioned, Harris, it seems to touch everybody. It's global. It's certainly here in the U.S., but it's across the pond as well. And the amount of information that was gleaned from those Epstein files, I think there were a lot of folks that had a lot of reason to keep those quiet for a very long time. Doesn't matter your political affiliation, doesn't matter where you're from, where you're at, what role you have. And to Griff's point, when we hear Epstein files, everyone immediately thinks, okay, it was some kind of sexual misconduct. But there are more layers to this, that the tentacles reach pretty far. And I think this might just be the tip of the iceberg. I think more dominoes are going to fall.
They're not thinking about misconduct no more. What they're thinking about is all the things that happen to the young human beings. You know what I'm saying? All the things that happen. That's what people are thinking about now.
All with this.
Yeah, what's interesting about, really what everybody on the couch is saying at this point, it's the money. It's exactly what you pointed to, and you don't have to be in the room or on an island to benefit from that type of a connection.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews.
I mean, people are calling for arrests in the United States, and people are saying it ain't gonna happen. Watch. Guess we'll have to wait and see. Like, people want people held accountable for this treachery. Man, I don't know what else to say about it. It's funny, every time I get done the video, there's always something I missed that I didn't touch on almost every single time because there's so many things and connections that these files have to other things that have gone on. I mean, I told y'all I'm waiting for the aliens in the files. So, I mean, if we only got 2% of them, then, the other 98, it's bound to be aliens in the files. Or maybe what the aliens truly are is in the files. I'm waiting to hear about Loch Ness. I'm waiting to hear about Bigfoot, El Sasquatch. I'm the Yeti, the abominable snowman, I'm waiting to hear about extra continents we don't know about. I'm ready to hear about, I'm saying we got a firmament. I'm waiting to hear, because I look at both. I always look at both sides of stuff, and I'm just like, hell, I ain't been up there. I don't know. But there's some wild stuff going on. I was watching something today about a buried city or something covered in copper, and I'm like, what now? I didn't know about this one. That was a new one right there. I didn't hear about that one. Another one was like a bottomless pond in China, and they found out there were like several of them that were all like 20. There's like 24 of them, and they weren't really bottomless, but they were all carved out, and they didn't know about it. Even in their own history, they didn't know about it. And I saw something on Antarctica today too that I was watching. They were talking about how it used to be hot, and now you have the ice wall, and somehow how big the ice wall was, and then there's like maybe more. Like if you keep flying, you eventually get to a warmer spot of Antarctica. You know what I'm saying? And it's just so much stuff going on. All the people that was called crazy, all the tinfoil hats, this stuff just coming out saying, you remember the dude we used to make fun of at the job that was always telling us, all this crazy stuff. He was right. Or he might be right. What the hell? You know what I find interesting too? At one point in time, I was kind of on my way to being an atheist. And maybe I'll talk about it, but some things happened in my life that it was just like, okay, God is absolutely real and evil is absolutely real. And okay. But I was on my way, and it's kind of interesting that there's a lot of people out there that say, God doesn't exist, and there's a lot of other things that don't exist that would be tied to maybe paranormal or something that is spiritual in nature. A lot of atheists don't think that God would exist, or angels or demons or whatever. But the people that are at the highest elite echelon of this world that run it do believe in a higher power, a higher spiritual power. Powers, several of them. So I just find that to be very interesting. The ones with all that supposedly have access to all the secret knowledge that we don't know about, and all the buried knowledge and all these things, these top secret things, and they know what's beyond that gate and beyond the ice wall, and they know about all this stuff. They think that spiritual powers beyond us exist. They're much higher. But atheists just like, nah. I find that interesting. But anyway, post your comments down below. Let me know what you all think. If you enjoyed my thoughts as usual, hit the like button, subscribe, and share.